Bloons Tower Defense is one of the most popular and successful tower defense games ever made, with over 1 billion plays across various platforms. But how did it all begin? How did such a simple browser game based on popping balloons evolve into a complex and challenging strategy game with dozens of towers, balloons, and game modes? As Leonardo da Vinci once said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, which I believe all starts with one thing: Bloons Tower Defense 1. Before we get to BTD1, though, we should understand where the idea of balloons even came from. Back in 2007, Stephen Harris drew inspiration from his wife by combining the carnival game where you throw darts at balloons, and what else? Monkeys. In Bloons, you throw darts at balloons and had to pop a specific number of them to beat each level. The levels became more difficult over time and required special power-ups like explosions, tacks, and frozen balloons to get it all done. But let's not forget about those special bouncy areas to add to the balloon popping antics. Coughity winkety, oh my gosh. All in all though, it was a pretty big hit. Later in 2007, Bloons Tower Defense 1 was born. It's simple to imagine what a tower defense game is now, but back then there were no Flash tower defense games in 2006. That all changed in 2007 though with the birth of Flash. So came the flood of tower defense. Many games were born, but most weren't that special, and they didn't add that many new mechanics to the genre. Bloons was surprisingly different. Bloons didn't have health bars for the monsters or the aliens or the things that were coming out to kill you. Instead, they had layers! The strongest balloons in the game were the black and white balloons. The black balloons could not be popped by cannons, and the white balloons could not be popped by the ice tower. When both are popped, they release 2 yellow balloons. That means that they each had 9 red balloon equivalents, and if you leaked one of those, you would leak 9 total lives. After that, yellow balloons just popped into a green balloon, the green into a blue balloon, the blue into a red balloon, and the red into the dark abyss of eternal slumber. That, on top of the fun colors, the fun towers, the easy-to-play mechanics, gave Bloons Tower Defense its spot in internet fame. As we mentioned earlier, the tower defense gameplay is not completely unique to Bloons. Enemies still travel down a path towards the exit, and if any balloons or enemies manage to sneak through all of your defense, you lose lives. In Bloons Tower Defense 1, you have 40 lives, so if you lose all 40 lives before popping the full 50 rounds of the game, you lose. You earn money by popping those balloons, $1 for every layer popped, so make sure you put it to good use by buying more towers and by upgrading your towers. There were only 5 towers in the original BTD game. The base dart monkey, who cost $250 and only popped 1 balloon per shot. It had 2 upgrades, piercing darts and long-range darts, allowing it to pop 2 balloons per shot and of course giving it more range. The tack tower cost $400, can shoot a volley of 8 tacks completely surrounding itself. Each tack popped 1 balloon per shot and could be upgraded to faster shooting and then extra range tacks. The ice tower cost a whopping $850, and its only weakness was that it could not pop white balloons. Frozen balloons also could not be popped by anything but the bomb shooter. You could upgrade to long freeze time and wide freeze radius. The bomb tower cost $900 and exploded on impact. Bombs are ineffective against black balloons, but worked well in combination with ice towers and, of course, any other tower in the game. It can be upgraded to bigger bombs and extra range bombs. The last being the Super Monkey, who is the most expensive by a large margin, costing $4,000. It shot rapid-fire darts against the balloons, but it unfortunately did not have 2 upgrades. You could only buy one of the upgrades as epic range for $2,400, but that was one of the most useless upgrades in most situations. Using only these 5 towers and their measly upgrades, you must defeat the onslaught of invading balloons. So get out there and give it your all! Bloons Tower Defense 1 is considered one of the most difficult balloon games overall, with its limited strategies and upgrades, which made it only more replayable for people to come back and try different strategies. One interesting thing about Bloons is that there is not much lore about Bloons. Even moving up to the newest games, the lore is mostly made up by employees at Ninja Kiwi or by the fans. With games often taking years to create, you might expect BTD 2 to be years off, but you'd be surprised to hear that it only took 63 days before Bloons Tower Defense 2 was released in the same year of 2007. Of course, BTD 2 only had slight changes from the previous game. It would take years before large changes were made to the franchise as a whole, with the introduction of BTD 4 and beyond. But that will be discussed in a future video. Extremely unfortunately, Flash Player was officially discontinued on December 31st of 2020. So as it lies right now, you can't officially play Bloons Tower Defense 1 games on Flash anymore. But Don't fret. If you're feeling nostalgic and you still want to get some poppin' action in here with your old school Bloons poppin', you can still play it on the Ninja Kiwi archive through Steam. If you feel like I missed any interesting action, make sure you throw it down in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed, press that like button, make sure you subscribe, and of course, have a super duper delicious day.